Fans making their way back to their seats. The United States maybe can finally touch their fannies to their seats because the first half, a rather nail-biting affair. Phil Shane, Kobe Jones with you. The National Stadium, Independence Park in Kingston, where Jamaica is welcoming the red, white, and blue. And what a performance from both teams at the start, but where Jamaica started to falter in the midway point, the United States started to press its advantage.
Yes, it was a great start by both sides. Very high pace going at each other, but really as the game started to settle down a bit, the U.S. took advantage of the situation, got a great goal from this man, Altidore, that really kind of changed the tone.
Take a look at the statistics, and 5 shots combined. The corners slightly favoring Jamaica. Only 7 fouls combined, only 4 allowed by the United States, and only 1 of those was really in a good goal-scoring opportunity. Remember, they gave up 2 free kick goals the last time they played in the group stage. One concern, it's the same one Jurgen Klinsmann faced, not quite sure about the dress code, against Germany, is the way they ended up closing that first half. See how they can open this second half. Roberto Moreno gets us started for the second half, and the goal coming in the 30th minute. A good build-up by the U.S., but then they took their foot off the accelerator a bit, Kobe, and Jamaica a bit unfortunate not to equalize.
Yes, Jamaica created quite a few chances in those last 10 minutes of the match. The U.S. seemed to just kind of slow down, take their foot off the pedal, and that's when a lot of opportunities came, and they had some quality opportunities. They won off the post, and then a couple of shots that went a little bit awry, but U.S. has got to pay attention, stay concentrated for the full 90 minutes.
Ball blasted long into the center of the park, intercepted. Rudolph Austin launching it into the area, but off target for Jermaine Johnson, and smartly played by Howard across. Talking about those pairings, Beasley and Johnson on one side, Evans and Zusi on the other, Bradley and Jones in the middle, Dempsey and Altidore up front. The most important pairing right now is Omar Gonzalez and Matt Beasler. Third time that they have started a match. The first 2, the scoreless draw at Azteca, which got them their 4th qualifying point, and the other, the 4-3 victory against Germany in their last match leading up. Well, if they can keep the good times rolling, you might want to already put that one in pen for Brazil.
Well, I think that's what Coach Klinsmann is looking at right now. That Germany game really built confidence for those two, building off of the last time they played together against Mexico in the qualifier. If they can continue that, you will see them in Brazil.
Ball laid back, stepping forward Woodbine, trying to play it down the line for McCleary, but out of play for a U.S. throw. Well, let's talk a little bit about the offensive side as we look at Evans, Zusi, and Dempsey.
I really think Evans, having that solid position at right back, is allowing Zusi to really stay forward a little bit. That's what every winger wants, trust me, to be able to be a little bit more offensive and just whip those crosses in. And as long as Zusi's able to do that, that's going to open up things for Altidore and for Dempsey.
Of course, the other point being, it would be nice if he occasionally would have Evans flying down on the long side, maybe making the defender in front of him think twice. He will get that eventually with a Cherundolo and a Chandler, but that's not really Evans' game, at least not yet.
Now, I don't see Evans being the right back on this national team. That's something that people have to realize. And since this is a position that he's relatively new to, the World Cup qualifier, I don't think he's going to be taking those chances, getting himself forward, because he's not so comfortable yet with everything that position demands of a player.
Dempsey trying to pounce. Ryan Johnson, who had a good first half. Actually on the turn now, it's Marvin Elliott pushing it up the line, and he'll get the foul call. Frustration from Fabian Johnson. Again, Ricketts in goal. It's Powell, Mariappa, Gordon, and Woodbine along the back. Austin and Elliott in the middle, with McCleary and Hugh on the flanks. Jermaine Johnson and Ryan Johnson up front. United States with Howard in goal. Evans, Gonzalez, Beasler, and Beasley from right to left. Bradley and Jones in the center. Zusi and Johnson in the flanks. Dempsey and Altidore up front. Rifling it in, low to the post. Howard goes down, but pulls his gloves back in time. Goal kick.
And this is how Jamaica really wants to start the second half, is really press the U.S. team, create opportunities and try to get that going for the next 45 or so, and try to see if they can pull one goal back. It's going to be one step at a time because they're playing against the clock right now.
We'll switch to the near side. Zusi one-on-one with Woodbine. There is Evans on the run. Glory be. Now into the center for Jones. Of course, the same point. If you do make the run, you got to feed the dog sometimes. Little push as Dempsey gets knocked down. The U.S. will retreat and regroup. The one danger is if you don't pass it to Evans and Jamaica wins it back, all of a sudden there's a gaping hole. Altidore caressing it. It won't quite reach Bradley. Rifled forward for Ryan Johnson. Strong hold up against Beasler. Gonzalez caught out. Now a chance for McCleary. Driving on Evans. Forgot something. Into the center. Huge gap for Austin. But his laser beam just rifled wide.
And we've seen Austin a few times step up and take these shots from distance. Bradley and Jones have to make sure on those situations that they're stepping up quickly, not allowing too many of those shots, because one of them finds it on target. It'll be very difficult, even from that distance, for Howard to make that save. There's so much power behind his shots.
Taking a look at the bench as the ball freeing Jermaine Johnson on this near side. The Wednesday man trying to get it done on Friday against Beasley. Shakes and bakes. Leaves him in the dust, crossed into the middle, bangs off Beasler and out for the corner. Good work on the far flank from Jermaine Johnson. Now Jamaica with another set play.
That's an excellent play by Johnson. Some good moves in the corner there, taking Beasley on. And I think Jamaica's really found the weaknesses right now for the U.S. seem to be on the corners. You can see Johnson going and McCleary going, testing the outside backs of the U.S.
Whipping it in. Hugh into the middle, the header off balance, but Elliott going over Gonzalez in the process. The U.S. gets the free kick. There are 3 attackers on the bench of note for Jamaica. The youngster Jeremy Lynch, promising future. Theo Robinson, who's already over at Huddersfield Town. And the Vancouver Whitecaps' own Darren Maddox, who had a chance against Mexico, but just did not quite seem to be on the same page. Meanwhile, for the U.S., the question is, how does Klinsmann make his substitutions on the road? Flipping it inside. Good work from Gonzalez, but now Johnson peels away. The pressure, though, maybe a grasp of an arm, and the foul goes against Jamaica. A lot more attacking weapons available for Klinsmann. Young striker Terrence Boyd doing so well in Austria. Joe Corona in Mexico. Brad Davis, the veteran, especially with the restarts, maybe to spell Zusi before this one is over. Eddie Johnson all but sure to get out there, and a lot of people would love to see Stuart Holden get a chance here today, but I don't know if you can risk taking Bradley or Jermaine Jones out.
I really don't see, unless there's some type of injury, that you're going to take Jones or Bradley out of this situation. There you have a good understanding of each other. You don't want to risk it, especially in that central midfield, making any type of change.
Still shocked. Almost looks like Klinsmann should have a pillow attached.
Klinsmann always likes to be comfortable on the sidelines, right?
Chance for Zusi on the near side, but Johnson loses possession. Alvis Powell, smart play by the youngster, but good step up from Jones. Same story for Gordon. Smart from Bradley. Jones now with a chance. Switching fields for Zusi. Woodbine over a little slow. Cross to the middle. Maybe needed to get under it because it looked like Altidore had found a gap at the back post. Still another cross from Zusi, and they'll get a corner.
We see in these situations, you're going to see Gonzalez coming forward. Keep an eye on him. That's probably the target right now. Playing safe in the back. We're trying to find Gonzalez on these corner kicks.
Out swinger to the near post. Just skims back post. Diving from Altidore as he tries to lift it back over his head. Cleared away by Jamaica. Now Johnson tracking back, but McCleary launching it long. Jermaine Johnson tied up. Play on, says the ref, and the U.S. will calmly regroup.
That's a great defensive effort by Beasley right there to slow that attack down, win the ball, and get possession back for the U.S.
Oh, lifted through, could have been a handball. Late flag coming up from Williamson, the assistant on the near side. Two things here. You can see the U.S. catching its breath. Well, quick restart now. Bradley, a little bit out of position, but gets the cross in. Trying to settle Dempsey. Fights through the challenge of Powell. Cross to the middle, but no one charging in. Oh, a foot race back. Zusi trying for the tactical foul, but good work by McCleary. The pass leaves a bit to be desired, though. Throw in Jamaica.
See as this ball comes in. Altidore really wide open at the back post with no one standing on him. It's a good chance, but yet just kind of throws himself at the ball. Isn't able to get a good connection at it. Thus, Jamaica's able to clear.
You know what? If this score holds, that shirt might start to grow on me a bit. 10 minutes into the second half. Over the far side, Johnson trying to sprint past Beasley. Turns the corner, cross to the inside. Howard had to block it. He says he didn't touch it, but the linesman sees otherwise. Beasley, one of the fastest guys in the team, looked like he was standing still.
But this is what I mentioned just a little bit ago. They're going to start attacking the outside backs of Beasley and Davis and see what they can do there.
In swinger, Howard leaning near post, cross to the middle. Johnson battling for it. Still loose, touched inside, finally cleared away. Beasler, player down behind the play. And it looks like they will call the foul, but is it Omar Gonzalez again? No. Jermaine Jones, who is down, and Brad Evans looks a bit worried. And Jones won't back away from any challenge. Ivan Piero, long-time trainer for the U.S. and in MLS, says they're going to need to make a change. This, well, we said we didn't want to see Holden for reasons like this. Didn't look like it was dirty from Gordon, but looks like the elbow caught him. Jamaican down on this near side, looks more just to be stretching, trying to avoid some cramps, but this could be a big blow. Jermaine Jones, the dynamic to the midfield for the U.S.
It's got to be a big concern right now for Jones. He really hasn't moved out of that position.
Well, Question coming back and not taking off the warm-up yet. Anytime that there is an injury to the head, they will be a little bit more lenient. It's Cameron who is going to be loosening up. Remember, he kind of started as a defensive midfielder before being morphed into a central defender and then moved to a right back, and it looks like he's going back to his roots. A bit more physical than Holden.
One of the things that when we talked to Coach Klinsman, he talked about players coming off the bench that they are ready and prepared to play these roles. They need to make sure that nothing changes as far as the dynamic of the team when someone else has to step in.
No blood to be seen, but you can see Jones a bit woozy, and they don't want to risk it. There's still two other key games at home against Panama and Honduras to come. Well, Jeff Cameron against Belgium, victimized and exposed. Of course, a few months prior to that, against Mexico, it looked like he had locked down a job, and now perhaps a chance to reclaim his good name. Just about a half hour left to go. The drop ball. So there was no foul called. And the U.S. gives it right back to Jamaica sportingly. Woodbine. Johnson on the turn, slips away. U.S. throw. Still waiting for Cameron. Jones making his way to the bench on the far side, and now with Cameron on, the U.S. back at full strength. Altidore towards the corner, wins another throw in. U.S. could do this all day.
U.S. would prefer to do this all day. This is exactly what they want. Every little thing is taking seconds off the clock and really starting to put more and more pressure on this Jamaican team. I still feel this Jamaican team wants to create opportunities. It's getting wide. We've seen a few times Johnson getting wide, taking on Beasley, and we've seen McCleary getting wide, and taking on Davis.
Evans again leaning forward. Zusi plays it for Bradley. Outside of the right boot, Johnson crossed inside, deflected by Powell. Youngster's done well, better than he did against Mexico. Promising future for the 18-year-old as he denies the U.S. an easy cross. Roberto Moreno. A few words to the U.S. bench. Jones getting escorted back to the U.S. locker room. We'll try and update you on his status. You almost wonder, with the Panama game coming so quickly, maybe even keep him out of that one and hope he's back for Honduras. If they can get a victory here today, that might give them the luxury. Bradley pokes it forward to Altidore, back to Bradley. Johnson, Cameron. Of course, one concern is Michael Bradley does have a yellow card. 2 yellow cards would mean a suspension in the next match. Zusi. That one over its target and flanked by Powell. If Bradley does get another yellow here today, he would not be eligible for Panama. And the U.S. might need to use Jones, or they would be missing both of their central midfielders.
I think in a situation like this, you really need to depend on a player like Michael Bradley being smart enough to know not to pick up a yellow, not to go into any silly fouls or tackles that is going to draw that yellow.
Smart play again. Dempsey, even though he pays the price, there is the running track and the concrete that borders it. No real intent, but he does get stepped on, it appears. Again, clock continuing to tick as the U.S. takes its time. Of course, the one point that the U.S. needs to do is to take advantage of a frustrated Jamaica. If they can get a second goal, you kind of sense this one might be put to bed. Strong from Beasley, but it goes out, throw in Jamaica. Long switch, trying to settle is McCleary. Nice cut around Zusi. Hugh dispossessed. Bradley, Dempsey. Oh, sweet touch. Knocked down, but advantage played. Dempsey starting to get that chip on his shoulder, and that tends to be when he plays best. Beasley, wide for Beasley. You could hear Klinsman screaming, okay, okay. Beasley thought Altidore might check back instead of making the run through. Another challenge for Cameron. Now back to Woodbine. Frustrating Jamaica, forcing the long ball. Gonzalez got there, but he gives it right back to Jamaica. Needed to do better with the distribution.
See, Jamaica's starting to get a little bit of a rhythm, and they're really trying to find those outside players because that's where they've had the success so far.
Strong challenge. Powell goes hurdling. Beasley whistled for the foul as the ball rolls free.
These are the dangerous spots for the U.S. We see right here Powell surging forward, and Beasley comes through. Tactical foul, gets him right outside the box, but this sets up a great opportunity for Jamaica. Have a free opportunity to goal. Put this right on top of Howard, see what comes of it.
This will swing in towards Howard, so it does open that near post a bit as well. Panamanian ref moving the wall back a bit. Howard cheating to the near post, about a yard off his line. Hugh rifling it into the midsection, no problem. Howard in perfect position. Altidore making the run. But again, the pass won't find him. Johnson trying to fight to win it back. Beasley, now it's Cameron covering. Strong into the corner, Johnson, but Cameron got there first. And Beasley plays it smartly out for the goal kick.
Johnson's starting to get a little bit of confidence on that right side. Every time he gets the ball, he doesn't care who's in front of him. He's starting to take the players on and seeing if he can get behind to the inline and bring those balls back across the face of the goal to his teammates. That's going to be a danger. Beasley's going to need a lot of help on that left-hand side.
Howard launching it forward. Cameron. Appears to be the word from the bench, a concussion for Jermaine Jones, so they will have to keep an eye. Altidore knocked down but keeps fighting for it. Powell again over quickly. Altidore and Powell mano a mano. Or foot to foot, perhaps more appropriate. Evans off target, and Jamaica at midfield. Well, Jamaica has weathered the early start of the second half storm. Now seems to be taking a bit of control. That could make for nail-biting time for the U.S. down the stretch. Beasley does well to parry it wide. Jermaine Johnson keeps it in.
We saw in that situation, we saw Fabian Johnson coming back to help and support now. You see that they're tactically making a change in the U.S. to support Beasley anytime that Johnson starts to size him up and try to go one-on-one against him.
Play on, and it's Woodbine finding the gap. Zusi forced to cover. Evans back. Johnson kept it in, turns in the box, chip to the back post. Beasley with the smart header to the corner of the 18 and cleared to safety. It looked easy, it wasn't. Another sub, this time for Jamaica, getting set to check in. Theo Robinson. Altidore even contesting these outlet balls. Robinson, another one of those players from Huddersfield Town. Johnson. Gonzalez finds a man, and now the U.S. needs to maintain some possession here.
Jamaica's really starting to get the better of the play, but they're going to have a difficult time if they continue to try to just hit the balls into the box and just have Johnson by himself up top with 3 or 4 defenders. They need to push more numbers forward. They're doing a good job in the midfield of getting possession, but get those midfielders in the box so you create opportunities going to goal.
1-0 losses against the U.S. and Mexico might look good, but not when you consider they were must-win games, and both of them at home. Jamaica's going to need to take a few chances. Zusi. Bradley. Up for Altidore. Wide for Beasley pushing forward. Johnson cheating in, but Beasley can't find him. Altidore was chopped down behind the play, but Moreno didn't see it. Up the line, Austin, who's coming back from a groin injury himself. Out for a Jamaica throw. And it looks like Robinson will come in. And it's going to be Jermaine Johnson who will exit. Nope. Looked like an 8. No, it was Johnson. Powell going over to take the throw in. Austin looking forward. Beasley. Cameron coming back. Beasley again. Johnson under pressure. Haven't seen Dempsey for a while. Here's Bradley looking. Had Zusi on the run. Still Bradley. Tries the shot himself. And it rolls harmlessly wide.
You saw Bradley have a lot of space and time there to step up and try to take that shot. It just got caught up a little bit short and made that ball go wide. I'm really surprised that Jamaica decided to take Johnson out, because he was having a lot of success going down that right-hand side. We're going to see how this bringing in Robinson is, he's going to have the same effect, because they had a lot of joy down that right-hand side going at Beasley.
There you see the website. Don't forget, you can catch the Peru game against Ecuador on Be In Play, beinsport.tv for the details. Hint of a handball, but unintentional. Johnson, well, might have kept his eyes closed on that shot. And Tim Howard will take his time to get it back in play. And Theo Robinson had last played at Huddersfield Town, but that was on loan from Derby. Season over, back to Derby, and they're going to let him go. So maybe a chance to impress. On the other side, substitution number 2, and this one another one of those players brought in from England, Jermaine Beckford. Simple as Klinsmann screams on the sideline. But then the long ball forward, gifted right back. Maybe Klinsmann needs to scream a bit more.
Yes, I mean, that's where the U.S. really needs to keep the ball and change the point of attack. Swing it around the back line so you keep possession. Bring it to the near side of the screen, to the right side, and play on this side, and just keep possession, go back and forth. Everything's in your favor right now. The time, the score, keep the ball.
Jermaine Hugh exiting. Jermaine Beckford checking in. The almost Grenada national team player now suiting up for the 4th time in a match for Jamaica. Also on loan at Huddersfield last year. Good control, Zusi. The run from Evans. He'll find him. Evans to the goal line. One-touch cross. Maybe had more time than he thought.
That's just got to be a better ball by Evans. If you're going to make that big run up there, you've done all the hard work. Do the easy part. Get a good cross in. Beat that first man over the top so you can give an opportunity for your strikers to go at goal.
Now smartly playing it back to Bradley. 20 minutes remain. Bradley chipping. Dempsey heading and almost finding the corner. A lot closer than it might have first appeared.
I think that was a good opportunity by Dempsey. You know, a little bit you see Dempsey sneaking in between the 2 players right there, gets his head on it just over the top of the crossbar. But this is where you start to see Dempsey show up. In these moments, he's going to start peeking in between the defenders, checking back, making these little 5 or 6 yard darting runs.
Through ball, Zusi couldn't get around the strong run of McCleary, shepherding it back to Ricketts. They've gotten the goal, but they really haven't tested the Timbers keeper much, especially considering he was a bit shaken up early in this match. The U.S. just can't seem to make it easy for themselves. Give credit to Jamaica for that. Bradley. Beasley.
You could hear Klinsmann right there doing exactly what we talked about. He said, hold it, keep it, make them run. That's what you want to do right now. Make it difficult for Jamaica, make them run, because that's one of the most frustrating things when you're down a goal and the clock is ticking away.
Zusi into the corner, manages to keep it in play, and smartly bangs it off Woodbine for the corner. More time ticking off the clock. Starting to see some of the players down to their knees, a bit exhausted after 2 matches in close proximity. That match against Mexico, and this is pretty much the same lineup against the U.S. tonight. Beasley dropping back, waiting for help. A little gap in the midfield. Stepping forward is Elliott, chipping it for McCleary, but intercepted. Smartly played for Cameron. No need to rush forward, find the gaps. Hard ball for Altidore to handle, and Jamaica gets it right back. Klinsmann screaming patience, but I'm not sure if it's falling on deaf ears. Near side on the turn, Beckford, but dispossessed nicely by Zusi. This a bit interesting for substitution number 3. Edgar Castillo, who had a bit of a rough go of it against Germany, but played so well for Tijuana in their run in the Libertadores. Gonzalez, a little soft for Beasler. Beasler cutting it back. Howard facing pressure and finally cleared. Well, it's out of danger, but more dangerous than it probably needed to be in the first place.
Very silly by the back line of the United States. In those situations, players, opponents bearing down on you, just clear the ball. Knock it up the field as far as you can. Play it safe.
Omar Daly getting set to check in, the veteran out of Scotland. That'll be the third and final Jamaica sub with just over a quarter hour to go. The last few clearances by Omar Gonzalez have been dead on, finding a teammate. Dempsey draws two. Not sure if Zusi just ran out of gas, but the pass probably could have been a bit better. Have to remember, even though they've been here a chance to acclimate, still rather hot and humid. Temperature still 84 degrees with 70% humidity. Well, Omar Daly is coming in, and Gareth McCleary will exit. So fresh and creative boots onto the pitch from the Motherwell man. Now, if it's going to be Castillo coming in, my guess would be Johnson. I don't know if you want to make any change on the back line. Straight swap left back for left back Beasley when you're pitching a shutout.
That's one thing that you probably wouldn't recommend right now, but we don't know the situation. Like you said, 84 degrees right now, and that humidity could be wearing on the legs of some of the players right now, and you have to make changes. But if you preferably for Johnson, put him up there, get someone that can hold the ball, because U.S. is not having as much success keeping the ball in the offensive half of the field right now.
Jamaica even seems to be a bit weather worn, trying to pick and choose. Woodbine to the center.
And that's really
finding a bit of a gap around Beasler, and the bump on Beckford goes unwhistled. Shoulder to shoulder, said the ref. Beasler got fortunate there. There's luck, the residue of hard work and desire.
It's really rare that a referee is going to call any type of foul like that without the player going down. So I think Beasler did a good job.
Well, think about that, though, as Castillo coming in for Johnson, as we surmised. Those are the reasons, and again, we haven't seen the replay, but those are the reasons players dive and exaggerate, because if they stand up and try and fight off a foul, they don't get the call. Still,
I completely agree. Completely agree with that.
A bit too close for the U.S. Another good job by Beasley. Looks like he was born to the position. Bradley. Gonzalez, actually Evans now up to Zusi. Altidore is going to play the full 90. Wonder whether that means Eddie Johnson maybe sees some time against Panama in their next match.
We talked about Jamaica picking and choosing their times. When it really comes down to it, they don't have that luxury anymore. They need to go every single moment. They're going to start pushing numbers forward and playing even in the back. That's going to give some opportunities for the U.S. to counterattack.
Omar Daly has a good shot as well, wide for Powell. Powell against Beasley, trying to stutter step his way through. The cross makes it in. Beasley tried to settle the turn. The shot across an empty net. Howard was pinched at the near post. Don't know if it was shot or cross, but Theo Robinson a bit unlucky. And they're going to say a deflection, Jamaica ball regardless. Beasley just needed to spank that one out of danger. Well, it will be U.S., but Jamaica keeping the pressure on.
Well, this is the time where we're going to start seeing some of those mistakes where we just have a little over 10 minutes left in the game. So 70 some odd minutes. Players are starting to get really tired right now.
Dempsey winning the ball though in the battle with Austin. Men open, it's Castillo driving in, trying to chip it around. But Ricketts a bit fortunate on that one. Castillo had a wide open Altidore though, and I'm sure he's going to get a talking to.
You see right there, just a good play up top for Jamaica.
Beckford inside Gonzalez. Again deflects away, this time U.S. ball. Again for Jamaica, just not enough. Give them credit for getting to the hex. but hexed they were, and they'll be winless now through 5. While for the U.S., who started so woefully against Honduras, it will be 3 straight without defeat, with 2 victories and a draw, heading into 2 home matches in a row. Woodbine, a little surprised that Jamaican midfield is staying so far back. In many ways, 1 goal probably isn't enough. Good cross Robinson, but it sails over Ryan Johnson. Back post Daly tracks it down. Trying to chip it in, cleared away. Caressed by Dempsey to Altidore, drops for Bradley. Bradley trying to get around, wanted the call, but just also ran out of gas. Moreno with a good look says no foul.
This attack is just a little bit too slow for me for Jamaica. If they really want to have an opportunity, don't let all the U.S. defenders get back. Use your speed and athleticism to go at the defenders of the U.S. team and create these opportunities. This is what we talked about with that negative passing.
See, this is one of the things with the switch, and you could hear Klinsmann screaming go with Castillo on the field. Beasley now cheating forward as Castillo covers near side. Cameron plays it square. Dempsey with the gap wide for Beasley, trying to feed it through for Josie, but a bit behind and cleared out for the corner. It's almost as though this was opening day orientation. No one really sure where the other guy's supposed to be.
A little too much passing for me for the U.S. team right there. Cameron had an opportunity, I felt, just to go to goal. Have an opportunity, take it inside the box, and at the very least, make that defender come up on you. And, you know, maybe he takes you down in the box. At least you get a shot off the goal.
1-0, 3 points in their pocket. Jamaica trying to wrest them away. Kobe, as Zusi launches this one in. The whistle like offside on the touchback. Sloppy play off the restart. Kobe, you know how vital 3 road points can be in World Cup qualifying.
3 points on the road is probably the best thing that you can get, because you're expected to win at home and get ties away. That usually sends you through to the World Cup. To get 3 points on the road, you know, that puts you in a great position.
Cameron and Bradley, but Bradley, well, makes up for it. Now has a gap. This is a chance for the U.S. A little behind Dempsey, slots it near side Zusi. Back for Bradley. Sees the run, turns back the other way. Wide for Zusi again. Dempsey's open in the middle, but it sails to the back post. Altidore camped out. Castillo in reserve. Don't need to push it forward. Altidore taken down. Castillo takes it to the corner flag. I think he was trying to bang that one out for a corner, and it looks like they will say it touched. Alberto Moreno not making friends in Kingston. Jamaica already using all 3 of their subs. Cameron and Castillo are in for the U.S., and it looks like Eddie Johnson will be the 3rd and final sub, maybe for Altidore after all. In-swinger again from Zusi. 5 in the box, high and long. Gonzalez trying to knock it back down, but off of Johnson. No, they're just going to say off Gonzalez. So Jamaica gets it back again.
You see this goes to the back post, obviously looking for Gonzalez. I think it was a good call. I think it came off of the back of Gonzalez there. Good look by the referee.
And it will be Altidore who exits. Got his 15th goal, and now in back-to-back games after going scoreless for Klinsmann. Says it's his hamstring. And he heads to the sideline gingerly, but his job done. Now, these are times where Eddie Johnson really needs to take advantage of his gifts.
And by gifts, I'm sure you're meaning that his blazing speed is right now with a tired defense in there and Jamaica pushing for the goal. This is where the counterattack is going to be very important for the U.S.
Almost headed through. Nice timed run, but Jamaica unrewarded. Zusi pulls it away from the pressure. Evans takes the second touch. Chance for Johnson into the box, but the arms come up, and, well, the whistle stays silent, but Mariapa probably had reason to argue. Again, winning the aerial ball against Gonzalez, but Howard there to clean it up. 85th minute approaching. Scoreboard in favor of the U.S. Possession actually in favor of Jamaica. Talking throughout the weeks in regards to the scheduling of Belgium and Germany. After that match against Belgium, a lot of questions. Hard hit, and Moreno is going to have a talk, and maybe even more. Down goes Gonzalez hard. Jermaine Beckford. And that one probably worthy of a card.
Seeing some serious contact there on that play. Gonzalez goes down hard on the side. Because at least a talking to. At least a talking to. You know, possibly a yellow card on that one. I think the referee's got the game under control. He probably wants to just see it out right now.
Performance against Germany. In many ways, even though they allowed the late goals, able to hold on for the victory. And then here in Jamaica, maybe not on sure footing, but seemingly headed in that direction. Good cut. Castillo continuing to battle, forcing the long pass forward, which allows the U.S. to try and pick it off. Johnson needed to do better, but Elliott picks his pocket. Which way? U.S. way. Again, the red, white, and blue in no hurry. Theo Robinson ruled to have grabbed, and Roberto Moreno telling Beasler to worry about the game. Fans making their way to the exit. Rough start by Jamaica in qualifying after a promising opening match against Mexico. This stadium not as imposing as it has been in years past. Through ball and a chance. Gonzalez getting there, and this time does not check over his shoulder, just slides it to the side.
That's an excellent play by Gonzalez. That little last saving tackle right there inside the box. A little bit of a risky play, but he does get away with it.
Cameron a little late to step back. Woodbine trying to chip it in. Play back for Austin. The long switch headed across, but off target. And Powell would like that one back.
But you see now Jamaica is going forward with 3, 4, 5 players inside the box. That's what they need to do. And I mean, 5 minutes left in the match. A little bit too late, but this is what they needed to do for the last 15 minutes to really push. And you're going to see a lot of pressure now. You're going to see some open players right outside the 18 and in the box for Jamaica. So the U.S. has to make sure they're attentive, everyone that's going there, and support from those midfielders to help out defensively.
Only 7 shots for the U.S. 3 of them on goal, but it was Altidore in the 30th minute that put it in. That's the difference at this point. Back for Cameron. Just over a couple of minutes left in regulation, and all the way back. Howard now under pressure. Zusi mistimed at Woodbine. On the run, Zusi stays with him. Woodbine pushes it forward, and Zusi takes him down, and that's going to be a card. Could not afford to let him off free.
This is actually a good play by Zusi. If you don't get the ball, make sure you get the man. Tactical play brings him down. You take that risk.
Think about it. It's a free kick from about 45 yards out, as opposed to a man charging into the box unguarded.
Take the free kick any day.
Zusi We'll say thank you very much for the card, but he will miss the Panama game. Into the area, snap, header down, and the free kick costs them. Jamaica has tied it, and it's Jermaine Beckford. Oh my goodness, Tim Howard plays his line, and the U.S. defense caught napping what appeared to be a harmless free kick, so costly as the U.S. sees 2 points slip away.
If you're the U.S. here, you got to be wondering what's going on. And you see right there, it looks like Gonzalez loses his man.
Beckford might have been offside at the initial kick, but the referee doesn't spot it. Howard just standing like a statue.
You see he gets caught. Either way, I'm not sure that was Gonzalez's man, but you see just the numbers of Jamaicans going in there, that they're not marked. He's wide open inside the box, and like you said, Howard gets stuck on his line. Indecision on to come out, and whether to come out and punch that away or not leads to a goal for Jamaica.
Theo Whitmore much more enthusiastic on the Jamaica sideline as the Reggae Boys steal it away. Altidor's goal in the 30th minute, now looking like it happened a long time ago. Johnson, the cross, deflects aside by Evans. It's going to be another corner, and the pressure continuing to mount.
And it seems once again, set plays the bane for the U.S. right now. Always seems to be a problem. They've got to make sure they're attentive here. Someone's on all the men.
6 men in the box. Donovan Ricketts, not one of them yet. 4 minutes to be added. Cross to the near post. Headed away, Gonzalez. Cutting it back is Daly. Still on his non-favored left. Pass to the near side. As Jamaica tries to get the ball in, it's going to be knocked aside for a throw-in. Nope, they're going to say a corner again. Another in-swinger. And Austin, who caused so many headaches for the U.S. the last meeting. Moreno not happy with the physical play inside. Inside the 6, header clears. Chance for Castillo. Bit of a battle with Daly, has help with Bradley on the inside. Back to Castillo, and somehow they make it to Cameron. Can they get this one back? Zusi trying to find Bradley, but weak with the left. Ricketts can't keep it in, though, and it's going to be a U.S. corner. 3 minutes of injury time left. What a strange end to this one, Kobe.
This has been very interesting these last few minutes as we see this corner come in. Now the U.S. trying to push the pace again.
Bradley trying to wrong foot inside, turning shot, back post, goal! Goal for the U.S.! The quick corner, Bradley finds Evans, and the most unlikely man to be the hero is... unbelievable!
We see what at play here as the U.S. starts to push the pace, finds Evans wide open. And Evans, one thing that is talked about Brad Evans, when he gets an opportunity, he is deadly inside the box. And a quick turn, no one defending him. He's able to make this quick turn and pretty much without looking. It looks like it takes a little bit of a deflection and just gets out of the reach of Ricketts in the back of the net. And Evans comes off of the hero as of right now for the U.S.
13 goals over the last 2 seasons with Seattle, but that's his first for the red, white, and blue. The ball rolling at the restart. Can Jamaica come back again? Brad Evans, shocked that he was even out there, and now maybe putting his name down in a permanent marker. Inside, cleared by Beasley. Snapped away Beasley. Good touch, Castillo. Bradley into Dempsey. And now a chance. Johnson was off to the races. Wide for Zusi. What a play. Give credit to Bradley as well in the cutback to feed Evans. Everyone else might have been panicking, but Michael Bradley and Bradley Evans, the two calmest heads on the pitch.
An excellent job of really keeping the ball in play and pushing the pace of the game. when you think that they would just be happy with a 1-1, they go for it and get another goal. 2 goals off of set plays in this match.
Bradley from Johnson. Soft pass. Castillo back for Bradley. They don't need a goal. And you can see the patience wide for Johnson. Now Zusi. That is a huge goal, a turning point goal. Offside against Johnson, but only 30 seconds left for Jamaica. This is the goal that might well define Jurgen Klinsmann's career. If they lose the 2 points here and then struggle against Panama and Honduras, who knows what happens. But after getting beaten for a late equalizer, they fight back for the go-ahead goal in injury time.
And what a turn for the U.S., because usually, like we saw, they take a goal in the last few minutes, which is difficult for them. But you see here, they pull a goal back to make sure that they get the victory.
Moreno checks the watch. Dempsey feeds Johnson. Johnson tries to cut to the inside. Trickled away, and that will do it. The final whistle from Moreno. Brad Evans gets the job done, and then some, as the U.S. fights back for the 2-1 road win. Their first World Cup qualifying victory in Kingston to take over, at least temporarily, the top of the qualifying group.
A great result for the U.S. This is what they wanted and what they needed to do. Go into the office at Jamaica, pick up 3 points, puts them in perfect position through the rest of the qualifying process.
Well, a growing point. It was a yardstick game, as some coaches like to say. And Kobe, the U.S. measured up well.
I think they did an excellent job. They got the 3 points first and foremost, and even through the match, they dictated the game in the first half. They let off the pedal a little bit in the second, let Jamaica come at them a little bit. Even taking that goal, that's going to be a bit of a concern for Jurgen Klinsmann. But in the end, Evans steps up and gives the U.S. those 3 points coming through in the end of this match.
More relief perhaps than celebration, but a 2-1 road win for the U.S. in Kingston.